Mas que outra situação poderia nos fazer perder facilmente a fé se não ficarmos atentos e baixarmos a guarda? Tem a ver com os apóstatas. Existe uma coisa que os apóstatas estão falando e tentando usar contra nós. A mídia e outras pessoas estão falando sobre isso também. Tem a ver com a nossa posição bíblica de que, a menos que a pessoa confesse, só é possível tomar uma ação judicativa contra ela se houver duas testemunhas. Deuteronômio 19:15 mostra que o nosso raciocínio é bem claro nesse assunto. Esse texto não deixa dúvidas. Ele diz: uma só testemunha não é suficiente para condenar alguém por causa de qualquer erro ou pecado que ele tenha cometido. A questão deve ficar estabelecida com base no depoimento de 2 ou 3 testemunhas. Bem claro, não é? Não podemos formar uma comissão judicativa com apenas uma testemunha. Mas daí eles dizem: mas o Velho Testamento também diz que as mulheres adúlteras devem ser apedrejadas. Vocês não fazem isso. Então, por que vocês insistem em dizer que é preciso ter 2 testemunhas? Se não tivermos cuidado, essas coisas podem acabar nos confundindo, porque temos que raciocinar bem sobre o assunto. E como podemos fazer isso? Podemos ler Mateus capítulo 18, versículo 16, onde Jesus estabeleceu o procedimento correto para os cristãos. Mateus 18, versículo 16 diz: mas, se não o escutar, leve com você mais 1 ou 2, para que, com base no depoimento de 2 ou 3 testemunhas, toda a questão seja estabelecida. Então, Jesus Cristo foi bem claro: tem que ter 2 testemunhas. Mas isso não quer dizer que, se tiver apenas uma testemunha, não vai ter consequências. Pode ser que tenha, depende da situação. Mas a Bíblia é bem clara: antes de formar uma comissão judicativa, é necessário ter uma confissão ou 2 testemunhas. Então, nesse assunto, nós nunca vamos mudar nossa posição baseada na Bíblia.
Jackson, that's exactly the point I want to get to. You'll be familiar, and perhaps we can go to Deuteronomy 22, 23 to 27.
Deuteronomy 22, 23 to 27.
Page 304. So where it said that if a man is found lying down with a woman who is the wife of another man, both of them must die together. Now, let me just preface this. I'm not addressing the question of the stoning. I'm addressing the question of evidence. The man who lay down with the woman as well as the woman. Sorry, I read that badly. Both of them must die together. The man who lay down with the woman as well as the woman. So you must remove what is bad out of Israel. Then it says, if a virgin is engaged to a man and another man happens to meet her in the city and lies down with her, you should bring them both out to the gate of that city and stone them to death. The girl, because she did not scream in the city, and the man, because he humiliated the wife of his fellow man. So you must remove what is evil from your midst. And then the next example is the one I'm particularly interested in. If, however, the man happened to meet the engaged girl in the field, and the man overpowered her and lay down with her, and the man who lay down with her is to die by himself, and you must do nothing to the girl. The girl has not committed a sin deserving of death. This case is the same as when a man attacks his fellow man and murders him, for he happened to meet her in the field, and the engaged girl screamed, but there was no one to rescue her. So the point of this last example is that there's no second witness, is there? Because the woman's in the field, she screamed, but there was no one to rescue her. Do you accept that?
Could I explain, Mr. Stewart, that, you see, I think already under testimony, some of Jehovah's Witnesses have explained that the two witnesses needed can be, in some cases, the circumstances. I think, was it an example given?
I'll come to that, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, so
we'll get through this a lot quicker and easier if we just address it one step at a time. So,
okay.
the present step.
So the answer to your question?
The present step is this, is that in that example you accept it's a case where there was no other witness beyond the woman herself.
There was no other witness except the woman herself, but added to that were the circumstances.
Yes, well, the circumstances were that she was raped in the field.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but they were circumstances.
And it was sufficient, there being only one witness, it was nevertheless sufficient for the conclusion that the man should be stoned to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, is it...
I think we're agreeing on the point.
Yes, is it not the case that had Jesus been asked about a case of sexual abuse, he may have referred back to this part of Deuteronomy and said that it's not required to have two witnesses?
I certainly would like to ask Jesus that, and I can't at the moment. I hope to in the future. But that's a hypothetical question which if we had an answer, then we could support what you said.
At the foot of the page, there's an example of a married brother spending an inordinate amount of time with his female secretary, and 2 lines from the bottom it says, later when he claims to be leaving overnight for a business trip, his suspicious wife and a relative follow him to the secretary's home, and they observe essentially the opportunity of adultery to have taken place, and then those 2 witnesses will be sufficient to establish the case. Do you see that?
I do see that.
So now, in the case of child sexual abuse, it should be, should it not, that a witness to an opportunity for the sexual abuse to have taken place would be the sufficient second witness.
Yes, if there is no, what does it say here?
Extenuating circumstances.
Under improper circumstances.
Yeah. So a second witness to circumstantial or corroborating evidence would be sufficient to fulfill the second witness requirement.
That's a very large question, and I think it's something that we would need to consider carefully.
Yes, well, it's just important as to whether the second witness has to be a witness to the abuse itself, or to what extent it can be, he or she can be a witness to circumstantial or corroborating evidence. So let me use an example. What about the trauma, evident trauma of the survivor? Would that be able to be taken into account as corroborating evidence?
Yes, it would need to be taken into account. And if I could mention, Mr. Stewart, these are the things that we're interested in following up on after the Royal Commission, just to make sure that everything is in place, because certainly these are the things we're interested in.
Yes, but you'll understand, Mr. Jackson, what What we're interested in is how much room you have to move, as it were, to what extent you're bound by the scriptures and to what extent you have flexibility to change your process.
I was just going to just say, I thought that had already been established in the hearings, but if not, certainly that's something that we need to follow up on.
Então, nesse assunto, nós nunca vamos mudar nossa posição baseada na Bíblia.